This program is brought to you by the following proud sponsors. The Alltech Media Group, the region's leading multimedia video production and marketing company, creating powerful and innovative marketing strategies that deliver exponential returns. And by California CEO Online Video Business Magazine, providing California's executives and regional leaders with economic development resources and regional branding solutions. And by StudioCast Pros, taking your web branding strategies to a new level by creating world-class online programs proven to engage audiences and enhance profits.
Welcome to 1 Million Cups Riverside. I am very excited to introduce our presenter today, our presenters actually. They're very good friends of mine who've started a company called Innovative Influences, and they're doing some really cool things to teach kids how to learn. And so I'd like to introduce to you today Delbert Minisee and Keith Tutt.
Good morning. My name is Delbert Minisee.
And I'm Keith Tutt.
We are the founders of Innovative Influences, aka Easy to Multiply as well. We are very stoked to be here. Very excited that we got an invitation from Ralph to be a part of the 1 Million Cups. Being a new startup, young guys at that, we're always looking for ways to get more information and share our ideas so that we can grow as well as a company as individuals as well. So that's who we are. So what we're going to talk about is how we came up with Innovative Influences. I was volunteering in my child's classroom, realized that there was children in there, but one in particular that grabbed my attention. He was struggling really hard with some concepts the teacher was trying to get across. Nowadays, in the classroom, they have a way to monitor kids and their learning to get instant feedback, so you could really see who was grasping the information, who wasn't in the classroom. But I noticed as we left the classroom, that child must not have had a learning ability, because as he walked out, he was reciting word for word a very complex song all the way from beginning to end. And I said, maybe it's not that the child can't learn. Maybe it's how we're reaching kids. Being a person that also struggled in school, found out in college I was dyslexic, took a long time to get through school, that we have to reach people different ways. I went through private school, so I found ways to compensate that learning inability. But a lot of kids don't have that. We created such a structured system that this is the only way, and if you don't fit into that learning environment, you get left behind. So what's a way we can widen that circle, that gap, to encompass and grab those kids that may be a little further on the outliers of that circle? And we came up with Innovative Influences, and that's who we are. And that's the problem that we set out to solve. So
Delbert came to me and said, hey, there's a very exciting idea I have. And Delbert has a lot of ideas. So I was like, okay, let me hear it. And he's like, well, we should merge the two worlds. The kid was reciting songs, but he couldn't learn his subject matter. So he's like, we can just put that together. Why not make songs that have subject matter? At first, thought, I was like, it sounds cool. But we have a lot of that. How can we be different? A lot of times things like that sound kiddie. Parents get tired of it. It gets ingrained in your head. You wake up singing these little kiddie songs. You're like, I can't stand it. I can't do that anymore. You don't want to play it for longer than, 15 minutes or so. My background is in the music industry. I've played cello for almost 30 years, and I've recorded in the industry with different bands and groups for the past 7 in all musical genres. So what I told Delbert was like, well, if we're doing this, we have to make sure that it's on par with what kids are already listening to. That way, the kids will be engaged, they'll be learning their subject matter, and the parents don't have to listen to kiddie music all the time. So our first product is called Easy to Multiply. In Easy to Multiply, we made sure that we were on the cutting edge of how music sounds, and actually maybe a little bit progressive in some of them. The product is 1 through 12 times tables. I like to say that we might forget what 12 times 12 is, but we'll never forget our favorite song. We remember songs from years and years ago. We probably don't even know where we heard those songs, but they become ingrained in us, and they become a part of, our daily routine. We can hear a few words from a song, and then all of a sudden the whole song comes back to us. Well, our goal was to merge those worlds. How could we create a catchy enough song that kids will learn the multiplication and that it will instantly come back when they hear the music or they hear the chorus or they hear even a multiplication factor? And that's what the solution was. How does it help the kids and how does it impact our community? How does it help the kids? They're engaged. It becomes fun again. It's not something they have to sit down at a desk and struggle over, sweat over. No, we can listen to it in the car. We can throw on, our headphones on our phone, our iPad, iPod. We can go and do this thing by ourselves. They take ownership of, I can learn my facts. It's fun. I can dance around. It sounds good. How does it impact the community? Here in Riverside, my niece goes to a school that focuses on STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. Of course, you have to be good at math when you're in that setting. Starting young, the core of mathematics is multiplication. Addition is the first thing you learn, but multiplication becomes the cornerstone of most of complex math. If you can really, if you can master multiplication at a young age, you're put at an advantage as you go through. We know about pre-cal, calculus, even more complex math. If you know your factors, you don't have to worry about it. So if you start the kids off young, and they feel that it's a fun and exciting way to learn it, then you're giving them a tool that they'll use for the rest of their life.
How can you help us? Well, we're here presenting our idea to y'all for feedback. Not only do we want your input, because we're at the incubation stage. We're at that point where now we have a product. We're finally got something that we're ready to generate revenue with. But how do we engage? We're taking ideas on how to engage that population to really get them to buy in. I think that's the biggest key to any product like this, is getting parents to buy in when your contact to them may be minimum at times. So you can always do family, friends, and raise that way, but that can only take you so far. To really hit the next level, we really want to take this thing because we think we can change lives for a lot of people. I know it would have been substantial for me if I would have had it in school. So we'll open it up for questions.
Are you an app that you would download? Is that the idea here?
We're not an app yet. That isn't something that we've been tussling with, is creating that app and how to do that. We've actually talked to Ralph in length about it. I think our thing was we put a lot into this. First part, can we go on and launch and try to be self-raising revenues as we go rather than keep dumping more money into it so it's profitable as we move, or even breaking even so that we can fund those things.
And I guess we didn't really mention what it was. I just realized that when he said it's an app. What it is, it's a full-length project of music, 1 through 12, multiplication tables. And we have it in CD form, digital download, things of that nature. Yeah.
Where does the music come from?
That's a great question. So, one of my pet peeves, especially being somebody that creates music, is hearing things that have borrowed, the songs of the day or certain things like that, right? So a lot of times what happens with kids' products is they'll mirror old hits or hits that people feel, oh, this is a good jam, but it's probably 20 years old. It doesn't resonate with the kids. It resonates more with like the older generation. So I've created music from scratch. It's all original. There's no samples. It mirrors the sound of the day, but it isn't a direct. It's not a direct steal from the sound of the day.
How do you want to license it or distribute it with people? Once the song is out there, how do you prevent instructors or kids from using it and not purchasing the product? How do you?
I think that's a great question. I think one of our hopes is we create such a swell that maybe the larger companies will eventually want to license the product from us, because at some point, like what the music industry is dealing with now, you get so big, people are going to burn it, people are going to take it. But one unique thing about kids is when parents find something that works for their kids, they will pay for it. Even if it's there free, because they feel like, man, my son is learning. It's a premium to them. Or my daughter's doing good. So they're more willing or more inclined to pay for those services we find than if it's just Beyonce on the radio where, we listen to them on the radio.
So is the product completely produced then already? It's already ready to go to market?
Product is completely produced, copyrighted, and all the necessary things, yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Do you have any way of showing that a child could learn easier with your product than what the traditional Common Core STEM?
We've done some research. I think one of the biggest things when we started out with this project, between us, the ghostwriters that we contracted with, was let's do research. Let's figure out what rhythm timings work the best for learning. We got there was actually some extensive research done out of San Diego at one of the universities down there. I can't recall the exact one right offhand. And then we also took into account that with their research and then things and what we know, we tested. Ralph's daughter is one of our guinea pigs. It's there. As kids learn, his daughter hadn't even started timetable concepts yet. And instantly, it was improved. A couple other people that I've given it to, yes. Have we done a full market research with ourselves? No, not yet.
And the thing that also inclusive in the project is, a lot of times people get bogged down on the fact that it's hard. Included inside each song in the choruses. Oh, the other thing is, let me backtrack. They're in song format, a format that we're all used to. Verse, chorus, and then outro. So, but inside the choruses, there's affirmation statements. I know I'm smart. If I have an open mind, then it's easy to multiply. Those things, when kids internalize those, they don't have the barriers that we have. If somebody tells me it's easy, all right, it's easy. I'll go with that mindset, and I can do this. And so that was very important also, to make sure that we're building kids' esteem in math, because when you struggle with math, like it's a struggle. And if you have the right mindset, if you have a positive feeling about learning this information, automatically you're set, ahead of somebody that doesn't have that. And so that was very, very important in that product.
So what would you like this to become? It sounds like you have right now at least one CD, and I imagine it can go any number of ways. You're talking about possibly doing an app, but what's ultimately your goal? Would you like this? Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry to cut you off.
No.
My ultimate vision, when I first really started imagining, because as I told you, I'm an idea guy. I'm always coming with crazy ideas. Was I wanted my company to do what Schoolhouse Rock did for the previous generation, right? you start saying junction, junction, everybody can recite it. It wasn't just the videos, but those things stuck out. They made a difference in your English. So our thing was, can we take these fundamentals? Because what we find is if I have the fundamentals, I can almost flunk all the way up to high school and pick right up because I can multiply, I can do my math facts, I know my English, I know verbs and nouns and where they go, how to structure a sentence. I know history, I know facts. So I'm ahead of the game when it's time to learn those things again because everything builds. I think in school, one thing in the research we learn is you learn first grade, second grade's more of a review year to solidify what you learned in first grade. Third grade, you build on the new concepts. Fourth grade, it's more rebuilding on those things from third grade. Because why? Those fundamentals are so key, so the time you get to high school, I can give you more information. So my thing was, can we get back to where I think our kids are lacking is in the fundamentals. And I think that's something, when we look at when you hear the standings between us and other countries, it's the fundamentals that make the big difference. It's not when we try to catch up in later grades, but if we can target these fundamentals elementary, it doesn't matter the difference. Yes.
Do you have copyrights on your material now?
Yes.
So a follow-up question. The organization. So I can see you're describing the effect that you want this project to have, and I think that's fantastic. Your organization, would you like that to turn into something like an organization that produces more and more of these things?
Okay. Well, the goal of Innovative Influences as a whole is to produce products like this. To answer your question, yeah.
Do you think you would ever need a visual component?
Definitely.
Part of this?
Definitely. And that the visual and app, the two things you mentioned are actually things that will accompany the deluxe
I think
version.
it boils down to what? See it, hear it, write it.
Yeah.
And either way you do it, whether it's in the app. So eventually we want to get to the point that our products cover all those, you know.
Yeah.
This is just where we're starting with. It's our seed. It's what can give us our running catapult to get out there that we can fund the rest of, because they take a lot more work to create that in today's society.
So I see the picture and I like it because you're engaging kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I was a terrible math student because I was totally disengaged. I didn't care. I didn't see any application. So all of a sudden you're making it experiential instead of just a disengaged. You have to learn this. So sit down and learn it. Have you talked to any teachers or gone to a PTA meeting and introduced this yet? Are you ready to because you said you're looking to expand it.
We did talk to, in our initial beginning phases, when we're trying to find ways to, how are we going to distribute this, which is a big thing. I did go around to several PTAs and talk to them. The component on their end, PTAs have gone to the point that really they're more concerned about raising money than they are about
introducing
a new concept or helping the kids learn. Yeah. For good reason though, because now even with school field trips are now sponsored by the PTA.
Right.
So you look at a large public school, if that school's going to take a field trip, it's not coming from your tax dollars anymore. It's coming from the PTA. So another case in point, so that's why you have some school districts that do a lot of field trips, that do a lot of different things. They have really strong PTAs, real strong parent involvement. Whereas you go to other school districts, the children are suffering. They don't get exposure the same way. So their focus is not on the product as much as how much revenue can we generate for these reasons. And then for teachers, yes, we went around to a lot of teachers. I did, and we surveyed the product. Ralph helped us develop a survey in the initial phase, as well as we had a couple math teachers that looked at it as well.
And currently it's at a charter school. It's getting a test run at a charter school here in Riverside.
I've got a follow-up too, is, since they're so concerned about fundraising, one of the companies that I have, we're doing an environmental thing. So part of our proceeds goes to environmental education for K through 12.
Right.
So have you talked to the PTAs about this could be another revenue builder for you on a revenue
Yeah.
share basis?
That was a part of the original idea. There were some regulations that we had to figure out, but that was a part of the initial idea, using this as a fundraiser for the school. Yes.
Maybe one last question. Do you know if you have any competition in the market for your product? Is there anything similar?
We've done a lot of looking into that, and you know, I have to say the thing that differentiates us from them is the sound. Like, I am almost to a fault, but a perfectionist when it comes to you know, capturing the idea that I had for it. And even Delbert knows. Like, there's a few times where he comes like, all right, it's done. It's like, no. You know, because it doesn't sound like this. It doesn't have the same sonic qualities as something on the radio. And if we're really pushing the fact that this is something that will battle listening to a Rihanna or, you know, then it needs to sound like that. It just can't be in words. So the difference that I've seen between, you know, other products is the sonic quality of it.
And
Well, just a quick follow-up. Have you considered going to one of the pop stars today and partnering with that pop star or record company to take it to the next level?
I think that's what we're hoping as, because that initially takes money. You know, those artists want you to come in and you're going to pay them a fee either per song or they want a percentage of the revenue share plus a fee. You know, however it's divided. You know, if that artist has any star quality to his name, because that's what he sells. His name's worth, it's valuable. So yeah, our hope is that this becomes such a movement that, yeah, we have the funds. Maybe we can take a Rihanna or we can take a Taylor Swift to sing a hook, maybe in the next project, because we've really grown it that big. The other thing that I would say prior to the other conversation, in our research that we found, there's a big gap. You'll find that there's a lot of educational cities that are even targeted for your older elementary school kids,
That's right.
but it's catered more Barney. And that gap comes in where by the time they get in third grade, their opinion and taste in music is now what their parents listen to, their cousins listen to, what's mainstream because they want to be cool.
Yeah.
And so there was a big absence for that sound there. Everything seemed to be pretty much, let's put a red suit on, let's hop around, or yo gabba gabba, even though we're teaching older concepts to it. And then we found that there were a few that were targeting the higher elementary, middle school people, but it was so wordy and so full that it wasn't learning. It was like, I'm going to just give you a lot of knowledge. And the question became, how do we get you to remember? I want that ABC. If I gave you a phone book right now and I said, go to Q's, you end up seeing what? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, right? To find out what comes after Q, because that becomes, how do we create something that ingrains in that way? And I think that's probably where we different from our competitors.
Yeah, and we wanted to make sure that it encompasses the name of easy. So during the verses, it's just multiplication facts.
Do you have a website that people can go to get more information?
Yes, more information will be right there.
Easy.
www.easytomultiply.com. Yes.
Yeah, just so to wrap up, I just wanted to give a bit of a testimonial. My daughter's 8 right now.
Yeah.
She's in the 3rd grade.
Yeah.
And she's had the advantage of having Easy to Multiply for the last couple of years while they were working on the project.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of fun doing Easy to Multiply in the car, hand motions, you kind of rock out, have a good time.
Yeah.
And right now she is acing her multiplication math classes right now, straight A's. So it's been a huge help for her.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, thank you guys for coming today.
Thanks.
Really appreciate having Easy to Multiply here at 1 Million Cups.
Thanks for having us.
All right.
It's all good. times 1 is 2, and 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 3 is 6, and 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 5 is 10, and 2 times 6 is 12. Come on, everybody, that's so easy. You should try it yourself. You should try it yourself.
This program was brought to you by the following proud sponsors: the Alltech Media Group, the region's leading multimedia video production and marketing company, creating powerful and innovative marketing strategies that deliver exponential returns. And by California CEO Online Video Business Magazine, providing California's executives and regional leaders with economic development resources and regional branding solutions. And by StudioCast Pros, taking your web branding strategies to a new level by creating world-class online programs proven to engage audiences and enhance profits.